Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dr. Sumit Grover. My first name is Sumit. So, to start with, we will first discuss what is narcissistic personality disorder or what is narcissistic person or what's the personality of a narcissistic person. Whenever I talk about narcissistic personality disorder or people with narcissism and victims, it reminds me of a wonderful movie which I watched about 12 years back, Flowers in the Attic. It is a movie about a narcissistic grandmother, including also a narcissistic mother, and the victims who are the children. So, before we jump further into the characteristics or the traits of a narcissistic person, I would like to mention that narcissistic victim syndrome is not yet included as a formal diagnosis in the DSM 5 psychiatric manual or ICD 10. We psychologists have started using it informally. Some of us use it, some of us don't. So please don't look into the diagnosis in the psychiatric manual of and try to find a narcissistic victim syndrome. Mostly people who have narcissistic victim syndrome, they come to us mentioning that they are having panic attacks, anxiety, and depression. But we further, after digging into deeper, we explore and cause awareness that they are going through narcissistic victim syndrome and do not have a kind of a depressive disorder or anxiety disorder. According to me, as far as to explain the person who is going through narcissistic personality disorder or is narcissist, I follow the five fingers because, according to me, the five fingers are the trait of a person who is going through narcissistic personality disorder. The first one, grandiosity and counting themselves as self very important and special. Second one, highly exploitative, manipulative, including gaslighting. The third one, the third finger, lack of empathy or empathy is on the spectrum. On one end, they can be really kind, caring for you, and on the other end, they can abandon you and be very angry and don't want to deal with you and can give silence treatment. The fourth finger, which I'm going to talk about, which many of you must have seen, very important part, overwhelming need for power, control, and entitlement. They can go to any extent for that. The fifth one, arrogant behavior, bad attitude, demeaning others, and not an appropriate, acceptable behavior. So, these are the five fingers and the most important traits which we will be talking about in this video, one after the other, linking with having a better understanding of having a relationship with the person who's going through these traits. So, the first and the foremost first step is to gather yourself back. Because living with a person with narcissistic disorders year after year after year, you lose your self identity, you lose your self concept, you have low self esteem, lack of confidence, and because you are gaslighted, you are not perceiving things the way or the experiences the way they happened, you are confused. So now to gather yourself back, you have to start the process of individual therapy, which I do, which most of the therapists and the psychologists do. And our main objective and aim out here is to get the person back because they say, Dr. Grover, I am not the same. What I was 5 or 6 or 10 years back when I started this relationship with this person or married this person. So, of course, you've lost yourself because you're a victim. So our job and the first aim is to support the patient and prepare the patient to welcome themselves back, or to welcome the new self back, the better version, better of what they were even when they started with a relationship with this person. So that's the first objective and step, for which we follow therapeutic techniques and support the patient. Now, to for the other bullet points are that once you are going through therapy, then you need to have somewhat understanding and awareness about what you were going through and the personality of the person with whom you were living, how it impacted you. So there are certain bullet points which I would like to talk about a narcissistic personality disorder person or people. Firstly, for them, the person who has narcissistic personality, they have an overwhelming need for for entitlement, for power, for control. So the constant need is that I am the controller. I know what will make you happy. I know you better than you know yourself. And this is the only way which you will be happy. So they are trying to control the other person's emotions and mind and mental status as a whole. That's what they try to do. Because according to them, the other person's full time job is to make them happy. Then only this relation can work. Now, don't forget, in my second video, love versus relationship, I did talk about diffused personality, and when people, a person with borderline personality disorder, full of insecurity and fear of abandonment, comes across a person of narcissistic personality disorder who wants to control and have the power, how that relationship can work. So, what happens out here? The person who is going through NVS, that's Narcissistic Victim Syndrome, is a pleaser and a fixer. And the person who has narcissistic personality disorder is a controller and position entitled person. So in this relationship, that person has already declared that I am entitled to this power and control. I will control this relationship and I will make you happy. So when they start a relationship, they are like a charmer. They'll follow them, they will be after them all the time. They will note their timings when they are coming out of house or work, or when they have their lunch break, and they will make a point to charm them and be in front of them and have a very charming behavior. So the other person, of course, thinks, oh, this is the best, and he really loves me, and he really likes me, or she really loves me and likes me, and that person gets attracted and gets into their charm and is controlled by the person. So they are, both of them are actually having a complicated dance, step by step. They're having a complicated dance together, and this dance carries on as a giver and a taker. Now, so this drama starts when the person who is going through NVS goes through being completely, day after day, belittled, is criticized, is abused mentally and physically too sometimes. And then this becomes open in public. The person is criticized and abused, or even tried to control publicly, in a public environment, in a social event, in many events or many situations. Then it's very clear that the person who's going through NVS is finding hard to go through this relationship, but still is in this relationship because, according to them, ending this relation is not an option because they're controlled completely by the person with narcissistic personality disorder. So, out here, as far as the person with narcissistic personality disorder is concerned, they have various reasons of this kind of personality because of their false self or a fake self, because they were never able to have their true and actual identity throughout life. So they make this false identity in their mind, not only in their mind, but also they start showing it and projecting it. And they want to be mirrored and responded by the others to accept that, yes, they are entitled to this position. So they keep themselves high on the pedestal, like among siblings throughout life they had been thinking, oh, they are the leader, whatever they think is the best way. In friends, in a circle, you must have come across many people in a social group or social circle, when one of the person thinks, or she is the best or he is the best, they have everything better, great, classy, and they declare themselves as the leader of the group, and the others start following and things happen according to them. Because not only out here the person is showing or telling others that, yes, I am at this pedestal and I am at this position, and the others start responding and giving them this position. So for them, of course, they are going to retain that power and control forever. Then until this carries on, till the other people or the other person, they realize, you know what, I don't want to be part of this power game. So why should I be in this relationship in which I am being abused? I am not happy. I am not the same person. I am manipulated. And they realize about this manipulation when they are gaslighted. Gaslighting is one of a very specific trait of a person with narcissistic personality disorder, which we will discuss in coming series, because I can talk about incidents of gaslighting. Even I myself have experienced that in my life of gaslighting, and we can have good discussions in the next video, maybe what is gaslighting and how it happens and how it works. So in case of gaslighting, in a simple definition words, it is when the person who's a gaslightee is totally confused, is doubting their own perceptions and perspectives and experiences of life because they have been told by the person with narcissistic personality disorder, I never said that. You were mad at that time. I think you are delusional, you are imagining. So they are putting in the person's head that you don't even know what you're talking about. What you're talking about never existed, never happened. So you are lying. And the person starts doubting, oh, really? Did this really happen? Did this not? So this is gaslighting a person through manipulation, which is a very common and a very particular symptom or a trait of a person with narcissistic personality disorder. So now, when you are going through all this process, when the therapist is able to explain and put on the table to the person with NVS that this is the personality of your partner or of your sibling or of your parent which you're going through, then the patient or the person, I have seen in this couple of patients of mine, that they say, oh, really? Oh my God, yes, yes, you're right. This is what he was acting out like this, Dr. Grover, at this situation. This is what he was acting like, that it was all about him when I gave birth to the kid and in the hospital. So they rehearse the entire scenarios, and then they understand that, yes, the therapist or the psychologist or Dr. Grover is right. That's what I've gone through. So now the next process of how to come out of it after when you are welcoming your new self or welcome back, okay? So then we have to follow a certain structure. So I will explain that structure in step by step by introducing the reactions, the expected reactions of a person with narcissistic personality disorder. So the second step is you have to follow to structure the exit strategy. For that, say that if you have all the passwords of bank accounts in which the money is, if kids are involved, or you have all the documents and you have all your passport and all your identity license and everything with you, with yourself and with you, because we need them, because when the person is going to come to know that you want to end this relation, they will not like it, because for them, according to them, the control or the power has been taken away, because you are deciding to leave them, not them. So out here, they will react. Their first reaction will be that comes when you hire an attorney or a mediator and you declare to them. But first, when you're collecting all the documents and stuff, you need that because we don't want to face their anger. We don't want to face their any harm or any monetary or financial harm, because kids are involved and because money is common. So you follow that process of exit strategy. Then the second process is that you have to start with the process of no contact. For that, you have to get out of this situation in a very smart way. So you have to have an attorney and a mediator, and then you tell the person, actually I want to end this relation and I want you to talk to my attorney or a mediator, because we need to end this in a good amicable way. Usually, most of the time, the first reaction of the patient or a person with narcissistic personality disorder is that they will try to charm you back in. Honey, no, we don't need an attorney. We don't need a mediator. These things do happen in life. So what? We will make it work. Right? Honey, no, no, no. These attorneys, they are just going to take money. They're going to rip you off with the money. Why do you want to give money? Let's go for a vacation, or let's meet for lunch, or let's meet here and we can discuss this. We don't need an attorney. Why? And moreover, you know what, forgiveness also is part of relationship. So we need to learn how to forgive even if I have done wrong with you. So out here, coming back, forgiveness, what forgiveness are you talking about? Forgiveness is just a word for them, because for them, forgiveness is going to happen that yes, if you forgive me for this, if you forgive me for this, forgive me for this. If they are causing that self awareness that this is all what they have done in the past 10 or 15 years or 5 years, then only the other person can think of forgiveness. So forgiveness is just a word for them. They're trying to charm you in back so that the whole situation or scenario is diffused and you forget about ending the relation, and you are again back into their bait, and they are going to feed you every day, sometimes with good and kindness and care, and sometimes with an abuse. So out here, you have to react. You know what? No. According to me, this is done. And done means done. So we need to meet with an attorney and mediator. And then you stop the contact. Leave. Okay. Silent treatment. No, no, no. They are not going to like your silent treatment. That is the time when the anger will come and they will try to chuck you out of a certain bank account. They will change the passwords. Usually, this has happened with quite many of my patients, and they have experienced that. So, that is why the exit strategy before you declare the attorney and no contact step is important. Then comes after they try to contact you through various channels, through friends, through people Because if the person of who is belonging to a narcissistic personality disorder belongs to a cult, a religion cult, or any social group, of course, everybody says, oh, he's so great, she's so great, she's the best person on earth, he's the best person on earth, very nice, very helping. So they will contact all the channels, common channels, to give a message to that person with no who's having no contact with them, ending the relation, that no, this can work and we can have a friend as a mediator, or like rather than an attorney. And the answer should be no, 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 no. We need a legal attorney or a mediator to end it. Finally, even when they come to a mediator and attorney and they're replying through their attorney, they are not liking it, because now you have given the power to your attorney and the mediator rather than to them. You remember in the last video recording, we did talk about, Nadia did talk about that there have been a situation. She understands the vibes of the room, because she cannot declare a person with narcissistic personality disorder, because if they haven't been to a therapist. So she did mention in one of the incidents when he stands up and or she stands up to show the power, that yes, I am going to do this and I'm going to stand and I'm going to record this session without permission. So then Nadia also stood up. She did mention about that in one of the discussions of the last video. She also stands up to make it equal, to tell them or tell him that or her, nobody is powerful here. We are going to play equal game here rather than a manipulative gaslighting game here. So that's what the technique is. So attorney is the next step. No contact, no contact, no contact. All the contacts start through the attorneys. And then if there are so many cases which I will discuss now, the case studies. In one of my case study, one of my patient, it took 5-6 years for the divorce. The reason? Because the person or the patient with narcissistic personality disorder have to win. They don't want to lose the entitlement which they are thinking they have in any relationship or a social group, because even with them there are two kinds of supply which they have in their life: the primary supply and the secondary supply. The primary narcissistic supply is through close relationships, through siblings, through family, through spouses, and through children and close friends. Okay, so out here, regularly they had been telling them that they are at a better and higher pedestal, and the others need to follow them, and that's the best way to live a life, and they're very happy in their life. But trust me, internally, they are living a miserable life, because they're all the time trying to protect their fake self, their mask, what they have shown to what they're showing to the public. So it's all about public facade, that okay, they're trying to show to public, that's the way I am, I'm very good, I'm very nice, everybody likes me, I get on very well with my sisters and my brothers and my family and my husband and my friends and close friends, and I have best friends, and I'm a great person. So they're busy putting that fake. Now, to protect their fake self and the mask which they are having over them, out here, empathy, what they have, is on the spectrum. On one hand, they are very sensitive and caring, and that is why the person who is with them is charmed into this relationship. So they're very empathetic, sensitive on one hand, but once the other person doesn't want them to be controlled, their empathy reaches to the other end of the spectrum. They want to hurt the person, they are ready to abandon the person, they're ready to defame the person. In many of the social groups and the friends, if you must have seen, you must have surely come across one narcissistic friend in your social group. What happens is that that person is living with, oh, my lifestyle is great, I am the leader, everybody needs to follow me. What they do when they find that the other person is better than them and the other person is surely much smarter than them, they ghost upon that person. So on one hand, oh, I love you, oh, you're so good, you're so nice, you're my best friend, great. And then suddenly the other spectrum come, they ghost over the person, no contact, and they start defaming that person and telling the other people not to be with that person because of this. So many invalid reasons they will give. So technically they are indirectly gaslighting the person whom they've ghosted by telling others whom they know they will go and tell to that person that yes, that's what she was saying about, he was saying about them. So out here, what happens, indirect gaslighting also comes in sometimes, which you have to be aware of. So, coming back to how to leave the personal and relationship, so no contact and no contact with any of his or her friends or close friends or relatives also makes sense for your peace of mind. Where kids are involved, of course we have to go to the attorney. So that's what I was saying, that it took so many years for the divorce to happen. It was pending because they have to win. They are not ready to give away their entitlement so soon because that's the way they are living. That entitlement of power and of that leadership and control is their personality. It is their ego what they are protecting. They're protecting their narcissistic ego by protecting that power and by trying to win in every situation. But guess what? When they find someone else to be the NVS, then the divorce will happen quick. For example, if they find somebody else and whom they can allure or charm some other person, then they'll say quickly, no, I'm ready to sign the divorce. Let's get divorced. I have found somebody, I don't want to waste time. We are very happy. Move on. They want you to move on with the relationship. But as far as the court cases are concerned and money and finances is concerned, they are not ready to move on. They will not make that equal because they have to win. They will try their level best till the end to win. So, what I will say to conclude, if you are in a relationship with a person with narcissistic personality disorder, check the red flags. First red flag of being charmed, red roses. Life is never a bed of red roses forever. Okay, if you are thrown a red carpet all the time, something is wrong. This is not a normal human behavior. Number two, second red flag is that if in case you think that your partner is on the other ends of the spectrum of empathy, very caring, and suddenly, no, I don't have time. You go to your doctor's appointment on your own. Even if you're pregnant, I can't help it. I have to go to work. Absolutely anger, other end of the empathy spectrum. So that's the second red flag. And the third one is, of course, being belittled and publicly being ridiculed and being criticized and all the time being criticized. Of course, pack your bags and run forever. Don't even think of coming back because the person is not going to change till they are aware that they are having narcissistic personality disorder, which is a very big job. They will never accept that they have narcissistic personality disorder or they are going through narcissism. So it's a big one. What I will suggest, all the best to you. If you are going through NVS, contact the therapist and the psychologist for the first time and welcome your new self and start the process. We are there to help you all. Many psychologists and many therapists these days are trained and are coming across many people with narcissistic personality disorder. So they surely are going to support you. And don't forget to hire an attorney and a mediator. So all the best to you. And it was great to record this piece of recording for you all. I will come across you soon with other series of narcissistic personality disorder like gaslighting and manipulation, and how with examples how it is. So till then, all the best. Have a good day, have a good night, and cheers to you with coffee.